Just a few months ago, I was in the same spot leaving my local dealer power lodge here in Southwest Florida. I bought a 2024 Yamaha MT-09 for lots of different reasons. It's an amazing bike. It just wasn't the right bike for me. It didn't sing to my heart. And when I saw this ZX-4RR small bore 4 and 40th anniversary livery and decoration, I had to have it. And this is our first maiden voyage on this motorcycle, 399cc inline 4. Stock, it's only about 55 horsepower, but it makes, and once I get it ECU flashed it to similar markets like in Australia or Great Britain, they get about 78 horsepower, and I'll be getting this on the bike very soon, as well as tidying this up, get a nice pipe on it, all that stuff. Love the green wheels, love the blue, the green, the white. The Kawasaki green looks so good on this motorcycle, so beautiful. And that's the thing with the MT-09. Yes, it's beautiful in its own ways, but it is such a brutal type of beautiful. This thing is so refined, and I can tell you the build quality here is better than the MT-09. The MT-09 was built in Japan. This is built, I believe, in Malaysia. And the build quality here, the quality of components just feels a lot better and nicer and tighter fitting compared to that MT-09. Like, this seat doesn't move at all, and on the seat on the MT-09, for example, just kind of like rattled about. The switch gear, the handles, everything feels very, very premium. And this bike is not a cheap bike, even though it's small displacement, low horsepower compared to other things in the American market. This MSRP, I think, was around 10 grand. There was a discount right now, and it was around 9,300 bucks with some discounts as well as a rebate. So deals are going to be had, but like the black ZX-4RR doesn't look that great to me. The green and the black doesn't look that good to me. This is just, it reminds me of the bikes in the 90s and the 80s. This 40th anniversary edition, just absolutely beautiful. And unlike the non-40th anniversary, we do have this gray frame, but I thought it was kind of just a base silver, but look at the sparkle in it. Absolutely beautiful motorcycle that it's just screaming, and well, it is a screamer, a high revving up to 16,000 RPM. Watch my initial impressions on one of my followers' bike. Colin, thanks for letting me ride your ZX-4RR because, well, for better or for worse, I had to buy a new motorcycle and get rid of the MT-09 and take a loss on it. But let's throw a leg over, and yes, it has ram air, so as you go faster on this motorcycle, it will pull more horsepower. And listen to her purr. Look at that, just instant, just maybe a millimeter or two of play, and the engine is just ready to go. So let's put the visor down. And we do have adjustable clutch and adjustable brake, which I need to play with when I get it home. I'm not going to do it right now, but I do want these levers closer to my hands. And yes, this maiden voyage, it just feels so much better on this bike than did the MT-09. The MT-09, gosh, this thing is, I'm in sport mode, and maybe that has something to do with it, but a lot of people say this bike, just doesn't have the torque. This thing, if you give it too much throttle right off the get-go, it's going to throw you back a little bit, despite being a low displacement 4. Has a quick shifter. Just buttery smooth. Oh yeah. Just so good. So smooth. And the riding position is very comfortable to me. The seat is much more comfortable than the MT-09's was, even though I put in a nice aftermarket upholstery. On that seat. This mirror is tight. There we go. Oh. Wide open throttle. There we go. I could tell you guys all the different reasons I went with this motorcycle. It's not fast compared to the MT-09. It's actually quite slow, but it is neutered for our market. The top end has been taken off due to noise and emissions regulations in California. But I am going to flash this as soon as I can. There's a break-in period. I think Kawasaki says not to ride this bike past like 4,000 to 6,000 RPM until it's broken in. There's no way I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be riding this not super hard, but pretty good through the RPMs for the first few hundred miles. The suspension only has a preload adjustment, but like going 73 here, here's the thing. The MT-09 is way faster than this. But since this has fairings on it, I didn't even realize I was going 70. This motorcycle is so smooth, it's more aerodynamic, and I just feel more comfortable on it leaning forward just a little bit. The MT-09 sitting very upright, and the seat was just uncomfortable. You'd have to get a brand new seat to enjoy it. I think this quick shifter is smoother than the MT-09s. I mean, they're both actually really good quick shifters. Little IS convertible over there, followed by a little hopped up Golf. Oh, just the induction noise on this is beautiful. Yeah, I couldn't get on board with the sound of the triple. Different things sing for other people, and the triple, as much as I modified that bike to make it sound better, it just didn't. The sound didn't do it for me. And I'll go into all the reasons why I bought this bike at another time, but I'm just trying to enjoy this bike, getting familiar with it. This is my first date with the ZX-4RR, and I'm enjoying it so far. And this is a bike I plan to own for a very, very, very long time. Wait, I saw a purple Lamborghini earlier. I wonder if that's the same one. This one looks like a Spider. I don't know how that Lexus is sitting there with the top down. It is, well, I haven't thumbed through the information here, but it is probably 90 minimum. On the tarmac, it's much more than that. Oh gosh, manual shifts are so buttery smooth. Unbelievable. The MT-09, if you try to do anything with that clutch, even just starting off, it's never as smooth as I wanted it to be. This bike immediately it only has 5 miles, well, I got it at 2 miles or so. It's immediately butter smooth. Downshifts. Oh gosh, so good. Just so good. And again, this is an effect I wasn't expecting, is that this bike, although nowhere as close to as fast or as quick as the MT-09, once you're up to speed, it feels like you're going slower than the MT. Let's say I'm going 80 on the MT-09 and 80 here. This bike doesn't feel like it's going 80 compared to the MT-09 because I'm getting pushed around and assaulted by the wind. I'm not even a tuck, and like the comfort here compared to the MT-09 against the wind is just night and day. It's going to be hard for me to go back to a naked bike, I think, ever. And you know the perfect amount of bikes that you own is the more the better, right? But reality sets in, and we can't own everything. There's a Purisangre up there at the Ferrari dealership. You can't own every single type of bike, or maybe you can. Most people can't though. And so I wanted a bike that was just going to make me happy all the time. And this ZX-4RR is going to be making me happy all the time, even when it's just sitting in my garage. Now, the brakes are smooth. I wish they had a little bit more bite to them. It's just the MT-09's brake brakes are just a lot sharper initial bite. I do prefer that. That's fine, neutral. I do prefer that on the MT-09. Just look at this tank. The Showa big, I think they're the big piston forks. The seat is just so comfortable. When I sit back on the MT-09 at a stoplight, my ass is punished. Here it is just super comfortable. So we have a couple different, let's see here, odometer. Okay, that's over there on the right. Miles per gallon. We got range, total time, battery, miles per gallon. So I don't think I have an external temperature gauge here, which it doesn't matter here in Florida. It's hot as all the time. I do like seeing range and miles per gallon, but just so smooth. Even shifting to smooth manually, oh my gosh, everything is just so butter here. And you know, when I was researching the MT-09, a lot of people say, you know, they prefer the Z900 because the Z900, although it doesn't have as much equipment as the MT-09, doesn't have the quick shifter, doesn't have all like the IMU and all the, you know, the backslip regulator and all that fancy stuff, or cruise control. People still pick the Z900. I'm like, why? I mean, I think looks department, they're about the same. So I'm like, why would you pick the Z900? The MT-09 has more. Well, if the triple doesn't speak to you and a quad or inline 4 does, like the Z900, then you're going to get that bike. And if the Z900 is as buttery smooth in operation and just is refined as this ZX-4RR, then I totally get it. I would probably enjoy a Z900 more over the MT-09, but there's no way of me knowing unless I drove both of them or rode both of them, and I never rode the ZX-9. So if I started with the Z900 instead of the MT-09, I probably would have stuck with that bike. A lot of the same things on this bike make me happy now. This bike just looks so much better than the ZX. Sorry, I keep calling it ZX-9. The Z900. This thing looks incredible. Just there's nothing there on the twist. But once I get a pipe on it, it won't matter. I don't care if I'm going that fast because this thing is going to sound like it's straight from the gods of Mount Fuji. I know it's not built in Japan, but it's engineered and designed in Japan, tuned in Japan, and it is just, I feel so comfortable on this bike. And I'm just gonna ride this bike for a while today. I got other things to do, but I'm just enjoying this ride. There's so many topics going through my head to talk about this motorcycle. Why I picked it, why it's a terrible buy in some instances, you know, 5 things I hate about it, 5 things I love about it, why it's a perfect bike for the streets. I can think of a gajillion different topics about this bike, and I'm just so excited to bring that to you. So if you guys want to see more Pocket Rocket ZX-4RR coverage, small bore 4 coverage, make sure you're subscribed. I can't wait to start modifying it. I mean, that's half the fun on a motorcycle, to me anyways, is just customizing it to your own desires. And this bike, oh my gosh. It's a bit emotional. I've always dreamt of owning a 4-cylinder bike. And I know it's not, on paper, it's not like the most amazing thing. But yeah, I'll have to save those topics for another day on the ZX-4RR. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next moto vlog on this motorcycle. Peace out.